Good afternoon, and welcome to the West Middle School 2020 orientation. This is Ms. Thomas, principal of West Middle School. I know that these are unprecedented times, and this is information that you've been waiting for quite some time. Honestly, we get changes that come at us daily, fast and furious. So today I'm giving you the most updated information that we have. And the first thing I want to do is ensure you that we are doing our absolute best to provide the safest and best education for the children who we share. First things first, the first days of school schedule. All students will be divided into green and gold teams. At this point, you should already know which team you are on. You've either logged into the Parent Square in eSchool, or you've noticed that your child is in the turquoise group. If they're in the turquoise group, that means they are fully remote. Chances are that if they are fully remote and participating in the distance learning model, they have a green or a gold alongside their turquoise identification. That is there in the event that your son or daughter returns to school after the first quarter. They will know which group they will belong to. September 16th will be the first day for students in the 6th and 7th grade who are on the gold team. So only those students in 6th and 7th grade who are on the gold team are to report on September 16th. On September 17th, 6th and 7th grade students on the green team will report to school. On September 18th, it'll be the first day for any 8th graders, and that's the gold team 8th graders only. And on September 21st, that will be the first day of school for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade green students. Please note that all children can still participate with their teachers remotely on the days that they are not reporting to school. They should start getting invitations to join teams from their teachers. If you have not already picked up a device and you are on the fully remote model, you may contact the school to make an appointment to pick up your device. Students who are on the hybrid teams will be receiving their devices in school when the district receives them. We do not have them yet. We're asking that you continue to use the devices that you have access to in your homes until then. Also, for the people who are on fully remote learning, if you did not receive one or you signed up late, you are also on that waiting list. West Middle School, we're striving for a successful and meaningful educational experience. That's the students, staff, and the entire community. Safety, again, is our priority. We will meet and exceed all state CDC and district plan guidelines. Students, staff members, and visitors must always wear a mask. No mask, no entry. No lockers and locker rooms will be available during the school day. Hand sanitizers will be available throughout the building, and thorough daily cleaning will take place throughout the day, and every night there will be a deep clean. Classrooms will be at half capacity to effectively implement social distancing protocols. Students and staff will be trained on the new norms of our buildings, and buses will be seating one student per each seat. Cafeteria tables have plexiglass barriers installed, and these are but a few of the changes that we've made at West Middle School to strive and to deliver a safe environment for our children. One of the things that you must do at West Middle is always wear your mask and wear it properly, not as a chin guard, not underneath your nose, but exactly as our little cartoon characters here are wearing theirs. It must be worn on the school bus and on school grounds. Please do not share your masks with anyone. And if you forget your mask, we'll provide one for you, but I strongly suggest that you always keep a spare mask handy. You never know when you might need to use it. So what do I do when I get to school, you may be asking yourselves? Well, walkers and students who are dropped off will now enter by the auditorium. There is a walkway there that you will be directed to if you are being dropped off to school. Walkers pretty much know that walkway already, and you know what the auditorium doors look like. School starts at 8 a.m. and the doors will open at 7:50. School ends at 2:32. Minibus riders will be dropped off by the first crosswalk and report to the large cafeteria. Please remember that we are doing our best to make sure that you maintain social distance. I'm anticipating that there may be quite a few parents dropping their students off. You can drop them off at the gate and allow them to walk through the lot if the line is long. Large buses will be met in the front, and students will be directed to enter through the appropriate doors. Breakfast will now be grab and go when students enter the building. It will no longer be served in the cafeteria in the morning, so there's no need to drop your kids off earlier. Temperature checks. All students will have touchless temperature taken daily before entering the building. When a temperature check is completed, that student will be able to report inside the building to their first period class. In the event that a child does have a temperature that exceeds 100.4 degrees, they will be kept in an isolated area until a parent can pick them up. We know that when students get off of hot buses or out of hot cars, they may have an elevated temperature. We will take their temperature a second time. If it does not persist, we will send them to class. Once again, if they do have a fever, we will ask that you come and pick up your child immediately. They will be removed from the general population and kept in isolation. However, we think it best for everyone's health if you, a guardian, or an emergency contact comes to pick up that child as soon as you can. Hallway etiquette. Entering and dismissal of the building, students may only walk in hallways in single-lane traffic patterns to help secure CDC social distancing guidelines. There is tape on the floor, and that will be their guide to walk within next to the lockers. Floors and walls will clearly display one-way traffic patterns for the hallway and staircases with arrows and signs. Single-lane traffic will be utilized to move grades 6, 7, and 8, and passing between classes will require a mask at all times. There will be no visitors allowed into West Middle School or items dropped off while students are in the building. Now, I understand when we want to make sure that our children are fully prepared for the day and they may forget something at home. If it's something they absolutely must have, please call ahead and let us know that you're coming so that we can arrange to have someone meet you outside. During class in-session hours, students may use the hallways as normal, two-way traffic, but you must maintain social distancing. What that means is when students are actually in class and it's not the entire building moving through the hallways, they're not going to have to stay in those single lane arrowed lanes that we've created on the floor. Once again, West Middle School will require face coverings in the building at all times. Mask breaks will be permitted in the classrooms at the teacher's discretion. You're noticing that I'm repeating certain things. That's because there's so much information for you to know right now that I want to make sure that you really get those key points. During lunch, students may take their mask off to eat in the cafe. Each table will have plexiglass panels installed. There'll be no sharing of food allowed, and signs will be placed to mark off social distancing on the student serving line. Cafeteria duty teachers and aides will ensure that students are served by small, limited table groups as socially distanced markers free up after others are served. In the classroom, the removal of a face covering will be permitted when a teacher permits a face mask break with proper social distancing. No vendors or visitors will be allowed in the school during school hours. To make it possible, a hybrid model enables our classrooms to accommodate half of the capacity of students. All desks and tables will be 6 feet or more apart. When weather permits, students will have phys ed classes outside. Inside the gymnasium, they will be required to wear face coverings and socially distance. Once again, lockers and locker rooms will not be used. Students will be expected to arrive to school with their sneakers on and prepared to play gym. Inside the library, same thing. Students will be required to wear face coverings and socially distance, and there will be daily cleaning of the library. Bathrooms will be monitored and have sign-in sheets for contact tracing. Those sign-in sheets will be filled out by the teacher when the student shows who they are. That way, they don't have to touch the pen that other people have touched. There will only be 2 students at one time allowed in bathrooms with multiple toilets. If there's only one stall, obviously there'll only be one child allowed in at a time. Bathrooms will be cleaned throughout the day. If you need to pick up your child early, please only do so if it is extremely important and necessary. You will need to call the main office ahead of time for pickup, and someone will have to come outside to have you sign for your child. Again, visitors will not be allowed to enter the building main lobby unless approved by the main office. Walkers will be dismissed after large buses. So if you want to pick up your child, you might want to come a little bit later, remembering that the last period ends at 2:32. If they forget something, we're asking you to remind your children to be very diligent in how it is they take care of their belongings. As lockers will not be used, they should have all of their belongings with them. There should not be any reason for re-entry. I'm very excited to tell you that we are going to work on some after-school activities. Those may be done on Teams and they may be done in the building. It depends on which activities will be made available. As soon as we know what we have the approval to offer, we will let you know. One of the things I can guarantee you is that we are all in this together. I know that it can be very frustrating, and we promise to do our best to deliver to you the most up-to-date information possible. But one thing that we always do that makes West the best is we take everything with every step together. This concludes our orientation. Children will also get in grade level orientations when they come in school and in teams with their teachers. Be well, everyone, and be safe.